Good day, Dr. Lorna Velasquez and classmates. It was such a pleasure and excitement to present today, along with my group mates, the Physical Education majors of Group 6. I am Ricky L. Damangon Jr., introducing our topic, Practices and Effectivity of Usage of the Current Trends in the Classroom Teaching. This presentation will be experiential and reflective as we pick out the top trends in the Philippine education considering the global setup and a curriculum-based content. Educators and school leaders have a common parameters in their teachings. It varies from an action plan, a lesson plan, innovations, and programs. Uniquely, we have our own methods, techniques, and strategies to deliver our lessons that produces different learning outcomes. The Philippine education system is in the middle of the profound changes with the passage of the Republic Act 10533 or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. The country was rudely awakened by the poor results in its maiden participation in the 2018 Program for International Student Assessment or the PISA. A huge crisis and educational recovery plans was doubled afterwards due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, modern approaches and technology allow the sector to navigate the abrupt changes and to implement strategies that minimize the learning loss amid unprecedented school shutdowns. A continuity to explore online learning models and incorporate new technologies to assist educators and learners in maintaining continuity and building capacity to help them thrive in an ever-changing environment. The word trends means there's a change or develop in a general direction. The people behind the educational field were observant and wary with these changes. We consider the factors such as the culture, age, population, geomapping, localization, government, and technology. Today, let's observe how effective the practices of these current trends in classroom teaching to be discussed and presented by Mr. Jasper Macaso. Take it away, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. The next part of the report is about contextualization. Contextualization, according to DepEd Order number 35, series of 2016, entitled The Learning Action Cell as a K-12 basic education program, school-based continuing professional development of strategy for the improvement of teaching and learning, is the process of matching curriculum content and instructional strategies relevant to learners. The contextualization of basic skills is defined here as an instructional approach that establishes explicit links between the teaching material on the one hand and instruction in the discipline area on the other, such as when writing skills are taught with direct reference to topics covered in a history classes. By this, we can identify the relationship between teaching, instruction, and children's learning whenever models of teaching learning process are discussed or when learning problems arise. Rather than teaching the subject matter, the primary instructional goal is to teach academic skills. That is why it is elaborated in a DepEd order that student diversity requires the teachers always consider individual differences in lesson planning and implementation. Teachers should recognize and respond to opportunities to connect classroom teaching and learning to the experiences, interests, and aspirations of the larger school community and other key stakeholders.
And to discuss the localization, let us welcome Ms. Grisel Ann Maloles.
Contextualization is indeed an effective strategy to use in the classroom. Now, let's go to the next trend, which is localization. One of the legal bases of using localization is found in RA 10533, also known as Enhanced Basic Education Act. It is stated in Section 5 that the curriculum shall be flexible enough to enable and allow schools to localize, indigenize, and enhance the same based on their respective educational and social context. So what does it mean? It is basically saying that we must encourage the use of local information, local materials that our students are familiar in their community. Now let's define localization. Localization is a process where the culture and its tradition and best practices are adapted to the context of the new curriculum. So how can we execute or implement localization? First, if we are explaining an idea to our students, the examples that we should use must be connected or related to the locality, or the other term is local information. Other way is to use local materials as often as possible in making instructional materials. And lastly, when we are teaching in the language learning area, we can use local stories that our students are familiar with. Localization and contextualization is found to be effective as researchers found out that students learn best when the experiences in the classroom have meanings and relevance in their lives. Things that students do and associated with them are the learning that lasts forever.
Digital Rise is an integral part of DepEd's Sulong Edukalidad, which aims to improve the learning environment, upgrade the skills of teachers, and strengthen the engagement of stakeholders for support and collaboration. It is an educational framework that anchors to the infrastructure, software, and capacity building of learners and teachers in technology. This is to address the challenges in digital learning and education technology in Philippine education system as recommended by UNESCO. It also aims the learners and educators to be globally competitive, acquiring 21st century skills, especially in ICT. Let us discuss the three components of DepEd's Digital Rise program. First is digital literacy. Under this component, it begins with the basic computer productivity skills among grade 4 up to grade 6, where students use productivity tools like word processing, spreadsheets, and presentation. Next is the basic programming skills. Grade 7 learners will have basic programming skills subject, while grade 8 to grade 10 will have multimedia concepts as a subject focusing on video editing and graphics design. Lastly, vocational skills like computer servicing, technical drafting, and broadband installation are assigned to senior high school students. The second component is the ICT-assisted teaching. DepEd aims to provide teachers with equipment, software, content, and skills for their daily classroom teaching. The program is also envisioned providing laptops, smart TVs, and lapel speakers to each teacher and classroom. Lastly, the ICT-assisted learning for learners component of the program aims to grant access and adaptability through DepEd learning management system and synchronous blended learning. In addition, the department provided laptops and tablets to learners and teachers, and the continuation of the public education network through DepEd computerization program. The department also partnered with Microsoft and Google to continuously provide software to its stakeholders. The DepEd Commons, Learning Resources Portal, and the DLMS are some of the platforms where learners and teachers can access DepEd contents like the self-learning modules, DepEd TV, and DepEd radio episodes. Let me introduce to you the next presenter, Ms. Rosemary Oba, to discuss gamification.
What is gamification? Gamification is one of the most innovative trends in educational technology. It has become an increasingly essential part of education in the last few years. The gamification approach uses different strategies, varied activities, badges, and reward to promote student-learner engagement. Gamification is essentially having a game element into your course. This includes incorporating badges, certificates, rewards for effort and success of learning. Next is game-based learning, which uses actual game to meet learning objectives. Students learn from playing the game, usually a commercial game, non-commercial game, digital or non-digital game like Minecraft, edu. Now, let's have a quick comparison of games, gamification, and game-based learning, which are all actually different. Game is the only defined as structured form of play. Games are there simply for entertainment value. The element is highly engaged. Here are the benefits of gamification in the current classroom settings. Number 1, higher level of engagement. Number 2, improve retention. Number 3, connects learning to the real world. Number 4, provides instant feedback and reinforcement. And number 5, gets a student hooked on learning.
Given the limited classroom time available in our class, teachers forced us to choose different strategies in teaching. To resolve this dilemma, we need to find different strategies to become an effective teachers. Contextualization, localization, digital rise, and gamification are one of them. Contextualization, developing new skills, knowledge, abilities, and attitudes in students, presenting new subject matter in meaningful and relevant context. Localization, freedom for school or local authorities to adopt the curriculum of local condition and relating the context of the curriculum and process of teaching and learning the local environment. Localization and contextualization can be done in all subjects. Localization maximizes materials that are locally available. To contextualization, teachers use authentic materials, activities, interests and issues, and needs from learners' lives. Digital Rise is an education framework that anchors to the infrastructures, software, capacity, and building learners and teachings and technology. The curriculum resolves around 4 core skills that are needed in the modern world: life career skills, effective and communication skills. Gamification in education means that educators apply game designs elements to an education setting. It is the integration of game elements like point system, leaderboards, badges, or other elements related to game into conventional learning activities in order to increase the engagement and motivation.
After the release of the PISA result in 2019, experts from both public and private sectors collaborated to identify and address the various education challenges, including creating a technology-enabled learner environment for teachers and students similar to other countries. Through a collaborative efforts of experts, Digital Rise came into play. Tools for better visualization and understanding of difficult concepts were also provided, as well as application exercises for a real-life situation to further develop the students' higher-order thinking skills. The current trends in education are ways on how to further engage and improve the retention and develop understanding of concepts and problems presented to learners. Effectivity of these current trends will only be applied once educators are better equipped and skilled to support digital learning.
I'm Risa Bitun, and I'm going to share my perspective about our topic. It is important to keep up with the current trends in education, since they determine what is currently accepted to be the best way to teach students. The concept of localization and contextualization falls on the idea that students learn best when the experience in the classroom have meaning and relevance in their lives. Things students do and associate with them are the learning that lasts forever. Also, technology is a positive tool in the classroom. It brings advantages in the teaching process both for educators and learners. Motivation and changes of attitude arise when efficiently employed. However, to reach a good understanding on the use of technology, it is necessary to rethink its use, apply accurate method, and design new possibilities that better reach the goal of the class, inside and outside the educational room. Thank you.